I want to show you something. Check this out.
Because at one time, this was a Montana camp and everybody lived in tents. So if you actually had a structure, that was a luxury back then.
Dude, it's like people just got up and left. Yeah, that's wild.
We're gonna take you down to an old ghost town called Ruby. It's about 4 miles from the Mexico border, and the town is so well preserved.
Dude, it's gonna be good.
Well, that's what got us, was that the town was so well preserved. I mean, I was looking at photographs and the research we were doing,
and
I'm
then
like,
the history.
The history.
Dude, this is why Hollywood makes movies. They revolve them around this type story.
Absolutely. This is what Hollywood was inspired by.
I agree.
I mean, spaghetti westerns to novels that were written about Wild West.
The whole thing about this time, I mean, even the time in history, and this is Pancho Villa's prime, right before he died. Yeah. This is a time where he's influencing other bandits on that southern region of Arizona.
No, these guys were completely influenced.
Warped
influenced.
Twisted. Yeah, absolutely.
Twisted, because these guys weren't like Pancho Villa. You know, Pancho Villa is a different story, but these guys were like weirded out, psycho killers trying to just
thieves and looking for money. I was really excited about the 4 murders that happened.
Yeah, well, the Fraser brothers were the first ones that really caught me. It was the first murders, but the irony behind it was they bought this store, the mercantile store, in 11 days after purchasing this new dream they found, shot dead.
In cold blood.
Cold blood in the back.
Within 1 year, we had new owners in that store. Mr. and Mrs. Pearson came in.
Which, by the way, had a family. So you're talking about a husband and wife.
With the family dream, the American dream, and within 1 year, going against all the counsel of everyone that went to sell them this property, they decided to still buy it, and they were also shot in cold blood. Mr. Pearson shot in the back, Miss Pearson shot in the throat, and then when she was probably screaming, the bandits saw gold teeth in her mouth. They took the gold teeth, butted her with the gun, and then ended her life with a bullet. But they waited to shoot her. They waited to kill her until after they took her teeth. Dude, what a painful, gruesome, horrible way to go.
You would think that they would just kill her and then maybe take the teeth out, but this guy was so raw and hardcore.
Dude, this is not some light story.
No, it's not. It's actually,
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to get down there and actually tangibly see this place and be able to firsthand see where this actually happened. This is going to be good.
Well, no, it's going to be great. That's how I think we
got some history though. Let's look into some facts.
No, let's get into it because the story is just as impressive as the ghost town and how well preserved it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Philip C. Clark sold the store to John and Alexander Fraser with the warning of Mexican bandits in 1920. 11 days after opening the store, John and Alexander Fraser were robbed and killed by Mexican bandits. The bandits, Manuel Garcia, was killed by deputies in 1920, and Ezekiel Laura was imprisoned in 1921. The new owners, Frank and Myrtle Pearson, purchased the mercantile store in 1921. Less than 1 year later, Frank and Myrtle Pearson were murdered by Mexican bandits. The bandit Manuel Martinez was sentenced to death in 1923 by hanging, and Placido Silva was sentenced to life in prison, then escaped from Florence prison, never to be found again in 1928.
So these beams, these are probably there for restoration purposes, but
not a lot left.
No, nope.
You know what, Rob? It's enough that we can kind of see what's going on.
So this is the mercantile store where all those murders, the horrific events, they all took place right behind these doors.
The Frasers, the Pearsons were all killed here.
Yeah.
Let's go inside and take a look. There's not a lot left, but there's enough that we can actually see.
Yeah, I bet a half a decade this won't even be here.
This will be gone. This thing is barely hanging.
You always hear that term, if walls could talk.
Yep, this is it.
If these would.
Look at these door handles.
Oh, wow, the stories. So yeah, these look like this might be the even original hardware. The most intriguing thing I find about this is that these very well could have been the very same door handles that the Fraser brothers put their hands on.
That's crazy.
The Pearsons, when they were coming into work, Manuel Martinez put his fingers on there to come in before he did the execution.
Absolutely. And that's what's so crazy about the history is that all the studies that we did on this, and now we're here and we're actually in the location.
Yeah.
So the thing about the murder with the Fraser brothers is we couldn't really get into it because there's no eyewitness. But with the Pearsons, we have an eyewitness. We have Mr. Pearson's sister that came in from Texas to help out with the mercantile store, witnessed the brutal murders. So Manuel Martinez came inside, Placido Silva stood outside and watched guard.
So you're saying he stood out front of these very same doors and he made sure that no one else was going to come through
here somewhere
while he executed Mr. and Mrs. Pearson.
Insane, man.
It's completely crazy. Getting back behind these walls actually is like, I don't need much of an imagination to see how this would have possibly
I can see it all. And it's like we're on hollow ground, but we're not. Just because of what took place here is just wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like the Wild West coming to life.
But you put yourself back in that time and you can see how this would have unfolded. This is the 1920s. You got men coming in from all over the country to pull ore out of that hole. And then the store owner, when he sets this up, he's going to put his product at the front of the store.
Yep.
And the first thing you want to see is some tobacco.
And that leads us to believe Manuel Martinez was right here when he pulled that trigger.
That's right. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So we would have had the countertop merchandise right when you walk through these doors.
Woo.
Manuel Martinez puts one shot in his back.
Yep.
And then as he falls, fatally wounded, takes 3 shots in this direction, potentially putting 3 bullets in these.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's one of those slugs in there. And nipping his daughter. Grazing his daughter.
A young daughter.
Yeah.
Ironically,
I think she's like 3.
That school is just about 25 yards over here.
And that's the part I want to go to right now.
Okay.
I've been waiting to get in here. There's a schoolhouse right down the road we want to take you to. This thing is so well preserved, it's absolutely insane.
Let's go.
But you know what? I'm glad we came here. It's been great. It's very horrible, but the chills it gives me standing here at all the research we did with the Frasers and the Pearsons, it's been neat. But I want to get to the schoolhouse. Let's go.
Let's check it out.
Here we are in front of the schoolhouse. That's where the flags were flying probably every day. The thing about this is, to me, it's wild, is that, you know, you'd walk up here, this is where all the kids would come in every day to school, 300 of them at the max time. We're gonna go in, but I wanna show you how this place is falling apart. You would have first this layer of stucco right here. Once this goes, you dig right into the adobe. And once you get to adobe, game's over. So you can see the schoolhouse is doing pretty well because of this thick stucco, but you can see at the same time, this adobe shining through. So if they don't fix this, it's only a matter of time before all of these walls cave in. But we're gonna have Rob take you inside and show you the inside of the schoolhouse. It's absolutely amazing.
So here, if you come into the side of the school here, you can actually see some original adobe. This is all the very original parts in the frame, the skeleton of this original school, and you can see some parts of some renovation that's actually happening. This is super cool. Here, check this out. We got an original piano. I can almost picture the teacher sitting down and playing and teaching musical lessons to kids, and this would have been also, I could hear Amazing Grace and some of those just wonderful original songs being played by a teacher at the turn of the century. Look at this slide that we got outside. It's almost creepy how tall it is. It's 13 feet tall, super dangerous. I can only imagine how many broken bones that happened falling off the side of that, or kids pushing each other down or going down backwards. But it had a wood railing down the side of it at one time, just a great opportunity for splinters. I mean, that thing is just dangerous looking. And oh man, check out these floors. Look, these floors right here, These, if you polish these, this would actually come back to life. These floors would actually look brand new. Some people pay huge money to have floors, the original floors, brought back to life, so to speak. Here, come here. I want to show you something. Check this out. Look, this right here is the actual original wall that was here. You could see that there was something that was in front of this for a long time, and then when they took this off, it had left the original oil-coated fresh wood behind it. I mean, that's looking right back into time here. This has been painted over probably 10 times. You can see the paint chipping, but this is the original wood. So these floors would have been a dark, rich oak color, just like this on the floors. We're gonna see this on the walls, so we can almost visualize what these floors would have looked like being brand new, the prime of its time in here.
So here we are at this old jail. This was the original jail. You can see how thick these walls are. Look at these beams, straight up. That's no one's getting out of that. So how many men were sitting in there looking out? But this is the best part I want to show you, is this front door. Come take a look. Look at this thing. Look at the rivets and the ironwork done on all of this. This is out of like medieval times. I mean, this thing is the original jail door from back in the 1900s. Absolutely amazing. This structure is
look at the
insane. Ceiling. Yeah, this thing is about to fall down.
Yeah, just don't touch it.
Yeah, let's get out of this part. This thing is definitely about to crumble. I don't even like walking in this thing.
So it's the old assayer's office. So this is where if you were gonna pull something out of the mountain and you wanted to test how pure your gold was, how pure your silver is, you bring it to an assayer, and they're gonna give you a purity test on what you found, or if you found fool's gold or real gold.
Would this be one of the old trays? They would put the gold
look,
in?
They got two of them. And you can imagine that they didn't have the insulation that we have nowadays, so it would have been cold, and oftentimes they would even put newspaper and other papers in between there, but really the only thing you can do is keep the elements out. It'd be freezing in here.
They left everything here. We have to remember, this place was going to like the 1940s. The 1940s, this place was still running, and then it just kind of died out and everybody left. They shut the mine down, it was gone. But the thing I love about this is some guy probably sat here and worked for 20 years on this one bench. You can see where he nailed this down. And if you look at the metal, look at this metal, Rob, right here. If you look at this metal, he put this on there because he wore this bench out so much over the years of working it. Instead of building a new bench, he actually put a layer of steel over it.
I read somewhere it was like 250 feet, but I don't know. We'll have to check our facts. Look, this right here, here's the old ladder, dude. Wow, the opportunity's totally up to you if you want to climb down there. Yeah, that's wild. Look, you can see where they had poured the old forms in here. And you wonder how far down the actual concrete goes, because you look about 25, maybe 30 feet, it looks like the concrete stops and it's just rock on the sides of the walls. Wow, look.
This is crazy.
God, it stinks.
Guano, right?
I bet we're standing on hollow ground. It looks like it goes back underneath us this way. And look up here, dude. It's got like, I bet at one time this was definitely a bridge that went from here back up there. You can see where shafts are all blocked off.
So when I sit here and look at this, I'm literally thinking I'm seeing like that scene out of Lord of the Rings where they're in the mountain or all the trolls or like underneath the mountain of the dwarves.
Most definitely.
Oh, this wood built up here. I cannot believe men actually worked in this.
You can see the vein. Look at the vein. It runs down and they were just following it.
That's insane. It's like ants. Like
and what's crazy too, yeah, well think about it, because the shaft we were at down there 100 yards guarantees at some time that it connects from here to there.
Oh my gosh.
And you can see the blue where they're going after some form of copper.
Well, let's imagine this too. These men spend 10, 12-hour days down in the underground just working.
Yeah.
They never even saw the sun probably when they were in full-on work mode.
It'd be pretty exciting, honestly, to go down in there. I don't know about every day, but come on.
Yeah,
dude.
to go down for once, but hell on earth to do
You may
it
not
every
come
day.
back up. How many people lost their lives in there? All right, so check this out. That water in that lake is being pumped up once upon a time by this pump, and it was shooting out of this pump up the hill for the ore, and it was generated by this motor. I mean, this is great technology for the turn of the century. This is really, really cool.
So these are two typical miners' homes. We're gonna go in that one in a minute, but right now I wanna take a look at this one. Just look at these wood floors. Over 100 and something years old. A family would live in here. Look at this little house. This was a family's home. Look at this. Totally falling apart, but look at this. This is friggin' insane. Still standing. So think about this. You're a miner. You're living out here. You work all day. You may have several kids and a wife. This is your home. This is what you live in. This is what you get up every morning and you walk over there, you mine all day, you come home, you sleep. You probably slept in the same room. Maybe there's a partition here, but this was their life. Hard, grueling life. And this is the only job you had in the recession. I want to take a look at this one. This one's a little bit bigger, so maybe this is like the Cadillac of houses for the miner. That's a super small one, but hey, it's probably something to sleep under instead of out in the open. Because at one time, this was the Montana camp and everybody lived in tents, so if you actually had a structure, that was a luxury back then. But we walk in here, what's amazing and actually just neat, look at this old bed that we got here, the old headboard to the bed. I mean, who knows what family actually slept on this. And the way this buildings are so thick, you can still see it's still holding on. It's falling apart, but it's still holding on. If we walk into here, you see the slab is totally crumbling. Right here. Come out here. I think at one time this was probably a room, or maybe it was a patio. Actually, this might have been like a patio, or a room. Come out here and here you are. The swamp. So this is what we were talking about earlier with Rob. This is where they pumped all the water. If you look right up here, this is the old pump house that they pumped water up into the, clean the ore. So it's getting a little colder. And you know what? I'm ready to go have a fire and relax. I think we've really documented this. I want to enjoy Ruby by the campfire. Wow. What a day, what a day. Ruby did not disappoint.
It didn't.
It did not. I'm still jazzed up.
Yeah.
How's that black coffee?
I'm not jazzed up. I could still go to bed. I'm wiped out.
It was a day, man. We were trucking all over this place.
Yeah, it's been great. It's a real ghost town. I mean, at one time this place was hopping, and now there's nothing here.
Now there's nothing. Nobody's
little
even
eerie.
here. Yeah, it's super eerie. It's creepy, actually. And I'll tell you what, there's a whole nother feeling here at night. And all I'm going to say on that is let the dead be dead. I want nothing to do with it.
Me neither. I'm going to bed.
But hey, you know what? You guys, thanks for coming with us until the next one, right, Rob?
Had a great day.
Had a blast. Cheers.
To Ruby.
And being unveiled.
History unveiled! History unveiled! Hey! Hey! History unveiled! History unveiled! History unveiled!